Hello everyone and welcome back to DET Coach's Beginner's Guide to the Duolingo English Test. In the previous lesson, we used the same template to describe people and activities and built a vocabulary bank for images of people. In this lesson, we'll continue using the same template, focusing on objects and indoor scenes. For an image of an object, complete the first sentence with a general label and its overall shape. Then place the material, parts, positions, and surface details in the later slots. An indoor image does not require a different template. Make the room or overall layout the main subject, then move from the foreground to the background. The first group of words describes the overall shape of an object. Begin with common shapes such as circular, rectangular, square, and box-shaped. Use irregularly shaped when the outline is uneven. Do not pile up shape words. One or two prominent features are enough to give the listener an overall impression. For materials, begin with wooden, metallic, made of glass, and made of plastic. For the surface, you can add polished, smooth, worn, textured, or reflective. For the classroom image, you can first note an open wooden case, two round sections, and a worn wooden frame. Describe only visible features of the material and surface. Even if a surface has a metallic sheen, you cannot determine the specific type of metal. After describing the object as a whole, break it down into 2 or 3 clearly visible parts. The main body, the outer edge, the inner surface, and several smaller parts can describe many objects whose exact names you do not know. If the structure has repeated elements, you can describe them as repeated sections. If 2 parts are connected, you can use attached to or a visible joint. Position phrases show where these parts are located in the image. Positioned at the center, near the outer edge along one side, and placed side by side are all common expressions. When describing the image, begin with the larger parts, then add smaller parts and their positions. This order is clearer than listing each part separately. In the classroom image, 2 circular sections occupy most of the wooden case, with metal pieces and smaller fittings distributed across them. This combines parts with their positions. When an indoor scene has no obvious main object, first identify the purpose or overall layout of the room instead of jumping from one piece of furniture to another. Begin with phrases such as along the far wall, at the far end of the room, and leaving a clear path through the center to establish a spatial order. Then add the lighting. Softly lit by natural light and brightly illuminated by overhead lights, identify the main light source. If objects in the foreground and background overlap, you can say overlapping objects create a sense of depth. Light and shadow on the floor can also help establish distance. If you do not know the exact name of an object, first use an instrument, a device, a container, or a piece of equipment. You can soften an inference about its use, what it appears to be used for, could be part of, or resembles a piece of. Give visible evidence before making the inference. The markings and metal parts in the image may suggest that the object is related to measurement or navigation, but you cannot state its name or purpose with certainty. An accurate description of shape and structure is more reliable than an incorrect guess at a technical term. Now look at the classroom image in the lesson materials and fill the general template with phrases from the vocabulary bank for objects. During your 20 seconds of preparation time, you can first note an open wooden case, 2 round sections, fine line markings, a worn wooden frame, and pointed metal pieces. The object's exact name cannot be confirmed, so keep the general label and old instrument in the response and present its use only as a cautious inference. Now listen to the complete model response from the lesson materials. This image mainly shows an open wooden case containing an old instrument against a red background. In the foreground, 2 round sections occupy most of the case, while pointed metal pieces and several small fittings are arranged across them. Looking more closely, numbers, letters, and fine line markings cover both sections, and the worn wooden frame gives the object an aged appearance. Farther back, the red displaced surface makes the object easier to examine. One detail that stands out is the star-like pattern on the right-hand section. Based on the numbered markings and metal components, the object appears to be an older measuring or navigation device, although its exact name and purpose are difficult to confirm. Overall, the image presents a finely constructed instrument, and its appearance seems historical and functional. This response does not guess the object's technical name. It first describes the wooden case, circular sections, markings, and metal parts, then cautiously infers a possible use from the visible clues. Use the same approach for an indoor scene. Establish the overall layout first, then add the furniture, walls, lighting, and foreground-background relationships. The next lesson will continue using this template while building vocabulary banks for terrain, vegetation, water, and lighting in natural landscapes. For a more comprehensive list of topic-specific phrases and vocabulary, read the corresponding lesson on the DET Coach website. I'll see you in the next lesson.